Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next video for the Spectral 1 tutorials. I'm going to show you the Spectr3d object today, which is like a spectral analysis object. It gives you like a sonogram or spectrogram or whatever you call it. But there's a couple of other things that you can end up getting out of it, so we'll have a look. So this is my same set that I had before with Woolg's track over the top, and that's all laid out into separate channels. Get rid of that. And we're going to just drop a Spectr3d object just down here into the master channel, and let's put it before this side chain for my mic compression, and let's have a look. So by default the Spectr3d object has this kind of view where the I guess the time is coming towards you, and it's being created at the back and comes with the default color palette. Let's just rotate it and have a look at what it looks like when we look at it from 90 degrees, and let's put it back a little bit into the view. And you can see that it sort of looks like a normal spectrogram. Let's actually rotate it this way 90 degrees. You can just type in 90. Okay, so it's starting to look a little bit more like a sonogram that you might be familiar with. We can make it look even more like one just by dragging down the center scale, which gives it no depth or height. And then we can increase the dimensions. This dimension here increases the resolution or the fidelity of it in frequency domain, which is in this particular rotational view up and down. And this dimension changes the resolution or fidelity over the course of the time. So it gives you more frames, so it looks at more time. If I drag that down, that becomes much faster and it shows less of the track. So let's turn it all the way up and have a look at what it looks like when we go to black and white. So that looks kind of like a familiar sonogram visualization. So let's have a look just as it drops in. So you can see all the hi-hats are hitting at the top there. The snares got the noise which covers the whole spectrum there. And then there's the bass line, which you can see shifting in frequency, and the kicks that are coming up that way. So it just shows you a bit of an analysis of the audio that's happening. Of course, you can change the scale in these dimensions and these dimensions, depending on where you want to fill this object. And then let's have a look at some interesting or more interesting parts of this particular object. So one of them is that you can have these two options here: frequency flip, which just basically flips the high and low frequencies, so it just inverts the axis. And then you've also got a mirror button, and the mirror button makes it so it mirrors the spectrum in the frequency domain, and basically it doubles the resolution of the entire object, so you get the same fidelity but twice. So in this mode it comes from the center, and you can see the low frequencies are in the middle and the high frequencies are out on the edges. If we click frequency flip after that, the low frequencies are on the outside and the high frequencies are in the middle. Which, I mean, this is kind of cool and it gives a nice pattern, but the intended, I guess what I built this particular function for was more when you have it in 3 dimensions and you're playing with the perspective. And let me show you what I mean. So let's turn it into 3D again. And as you can see in this mode, now we've got this valley that's sort of coming towards us, and we can sort of shift the angle a little bit. And this can give a really cool effect when you've got things in the middle of it, because the majority of frequencies are going to be around the outside. So bass frequencies are going to be the predominant frequencies in most things that you analyze, just because bass frequencies need to be louder, more powerful in order for you to hear them. And if I click frequency flip, you'll see that it inverts it, so it's like a mountain in the middle and then the edges on the side. So bass frequencies in the middle and then high frequencies down the side. So with these two options you can get a lot of different looks out of this particular object. Again, it looks fine from this kind of front-on perspective, but it also has the opportunity of giving you a lot of depth in your image. So creating landscapes is something that's very possible with this. So then you can also, of course, use the standard viewer functions like the feedback to give you, that blown out kind of look, or that mirroring kind of look, and then the collide, of course, will end up developing a whole bunch more patterns out of the spectrum. And then if you start playing around with things like the rotation, you start automating them with the speed, you can get these sort of folding patterns that occur from having the kaleidoscopic sort of view. So if you end up playing around with a lot of these kind of points and lines and meshes and things like that, you can end up getting quite a lot of interesting effects with when you use rotation as a way to change how the object is mirrored. So you can definitely use this to your advantage in order to create things that you didn't really think that a spectrogram could do. Anyway, I hope this video was somewhat enlightening, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.